Okay, what? Are we live? Are we on? I think we are. Uh, Welcome to the second time we're doing a live chat. We're just trying this out, seeing how it goes, trying to get a chance to talk to more people that might enjoy the podcast or enjoy the show. And this is kind of a great platform to do that on. Obviously, you can chat with us every week. You're going to have a different member that comes into that does one of these things, that sits in front of you and asks questions, answers questions, talks about films, whatever we want to chat about. This is kind of a free form for that. So feel free to invite people to come in here. It's, we're not just talking about only one film, although, we will try to focus on Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny tonight, but we're also going to do, we're also going to be open to talking about anything and everything else that comes up. So other films that we've covered, films that maybe we haven't heard of before that you want to, share with us. But next week, Mike's going to be on talking about The Night Porter, which was the episode that we just released. And you'll have a chance to sit down, and talk to Mike, ask him questions, get to know him. And then, tonight, hopefully the same thing for me. Please, if you get a chance, go to cultfilminterview.com. Go check out our social media on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and give it a like if you haven't already. And make sure to remember to hit that like button below and ring that bell and subscribe, because we're just starting out on YouTube, and it's a great medium for this, for reviewing films, sharing opinions about movies. So we want to start branching out and doing this. The podcast has been great. We've been doing it for 4 years, and it's grown substantially. And now we're trying to branch out into new mediums. So yeah, I thought this would be a good place for people to come and chat with us, and get a little bit more one-on-one, and have that opportunity. So yeah, subscribe to YouTube, share it with your friends, like the page, leave some comments, on any of the videos that we release. We're always releasing every Monday. We're always releasing a new episode of In the Studio, and In the Studio is the live show. It's, we have it in podcast form, but now on YouTube, you can watch it actually happen. And a lot of times we leave extra stuff in those. So, you get a little bit more. in the studio episode, some of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on while we do the show. Whereas, the podcast is a lot of times it's fine tuned. So, both are great. But definitely go check out our social media. Go check out all those things that we're doing. We're trying to get more content up, more video content for YouTube, where we got a lot of ideas. We're brainstorming a lot of things. Cody has a lot of great ideas. Oh, hey, KDS1138, what is up? Thanks for coming in. Awesome that you could join us. I'm going to be doing this till about 8:00, and then we're actually going to go record the episode. So yeah, every Thursday night from 7:30 to 8, we're basically going to be on here talking about the previous episode that we released, or whatever else comes up in the chat. We're open to whatever. So check us out at cultfilminterview.com, of course. And we have merch on there too. So, you can go check out our t-shirts at Redbubble. We have, a lot of variety on there, and we've also been brainstorming some new ideas. So look out for maybe some new stuff coming up soon. But I wanted to get into this film that we released recently. The episode that we released recently, Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. I think it was last week it came out. And that was my pick. But it was also a fan pick. So, it was kind of a joint effort on that. It was suggested. We had never heard of this movie, didn't know anything about it. It came through, you can go get your requests in at cultfilminterview.com, but it came through a request. We're like, what is this? And it looked insane. If you watch the trailer, we're like, this is some, garbagey ass shit. what is this gonna be? So we dove head first into it, and I don't know, mixed reviews. It definitely is up there in my opinion, personal opinion, as like a so bad it's good film. I don't know how good it actually is, but it is fascinating to watch because it is so terrible. And I always feel like, they say it's like a car wreck, you can't turn away. And yeah, this movie, what's even more interesting about it is that there's actually two versions of Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Two versions. We only watched the Jack and the Beanstalk version, which is weird because every other review on YouTube that I've seen on this movie is always about the Thumbelina version. But somehow we ended up watching the Jack and the Beanstalk version. I was happy about that because I was definitely more familiar with the Jack and the Beanstalk story. But yeah, it was awesome. What was my favorite part of Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny? Man, it's like some of the god awful music. Some of the definitely at the end when the ice cream bunny, which by the way, there's no fucking ice cream at all, involved with this rabbit that's driving this fire truck of kids to save Santa, and the kids are singing this song, and while they're singing the song, there's this just like this air raid like siren blaring over this like children's happy, singing. And it's just like to me, that was just like the pinnacle. I was like, okay, now we've stepped into like almost horror movie territory. And so for me, like that was something that really like that I loved. Now, as far as within the story, the Jack and the Beanstalk story, I thought Honest John was a very creepy and interesting character. So anything that he popped up in, it was awesome because it was so bad. It was so hilarious. Yeah, it just got and then of course, like the shittiness of the film and the grain and like the terrible, terrible, terrible editing is just, I mean, that pretty much puts it up there for me in at least the top 20 of so bad it's good. I know that's a wide range, but um, yeah. So if any of you out there watch Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny and have any opinions on maybe what your favorite part was in the film, go ahead and type it in the chat. I'm down to talk about it. But I did actually go because I didn't see the Thumbelina version, and I wanted to go see if I could find some clips or find some reviews about that specific version. And so I feel like after watching those, I got the gist of what the other version of this movie is, which is basically it's basically a girl goes to a theme park, I think, called Pirate World. And while she's at Pirate World, there's these loudspeakers that are starting to tell the story of Thumbelina. And then it goes into her imagination. And she's playing the character of Thumbelina, who basically gets an old woman plants something, and then she grows out of it, and she wants to leave home because she doesn't want to be just like, she wants to go explore. So she ends up like getting married, or a frog ends up trying to marry her, and she ends up leaving that situation, going over, and then a mole, like an old man mole, tries to marry her, and then she ends up leaving that situation and finds some flower fairy garden where she ends up marrying like a prince. And all, it's, Mike described it the best. It was like community theater. Like they got these people together for probably like as cheaply as they could, and we're just like, here you go, here's a garbage script, and nobody asked any questions, and they just were like, cool, like I'm gonna get an acting gig. And little did they know they'd be in like probably one of the worst movies ever made. So the Thumbelina version, it definitely is a little bit more like a drug trip, like the visuals and like the costumes and everything and the lighting. It's just like it's way more I don't know, psychedelic. Like I definitely wouldn't want to be on, I don't think I'd want to be on heavy drugs watching this version. But the Jack and the Beanstalk one had a little bit of more of a lightheartedness to it. And I don't know, I didn't hate it. That's the thing. It's garbage, but I didn't hate it because like I was always wondering what was going to be the next ridiculous thing that I was going to see. What's the next stupid song that I'm going to hear? You know, how many more times is Santa going to complain about not being able to get out of an inch of sand on the beaches of Florida and sweating his ass off in a coat for, you know, who knows how long before finally taking it off and then getting embarrassed when the kids come back. So fucking crazy. How many times did you say the fuck while watching this film? I mean, probably at least once every 5 minutes. It's a da fuck movie for sure. Anyways, if you're just tuning in, talking about Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, which I think should be called Santa and the Easter Bunny, because what the fuck is an ice cream bunny? And they never display any ice cream anywhere in the movie. So it must have been like a rights thing. Maybe they did want to call it the Santa and the Easter Bunny, but I don't know, the ice cream bunny? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't stick in my head for some reason. I'm like, what is an ice cream bunny? Yeah, it's the version available on Amazon is the Jack and Jill version. I'm sure you could find the other version somewhere on YouTube. I haven't dug too deep, but I feel like after watching the reviews of the Thumbelina version of Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, I don't need to see it. I feel like I got what it is. So, but what are some other defuck movies? That's what I want to know. We're still getting into some. I think we got a few coming up. I want to do Birdemic. I think Birdemic would be a good one to try, or like a Neil Breen film. I've been recommended to do one of those. And these are some really, yeah, like maybe even like slightly more modern garbage. But those films are always fun to talk about. You know, it's always fun to laugh about what were these people thinking when they were making this movie. Like when they were in the editing room, who was sitting there watching Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny going, yeah, this is exactly what I was wanted. This is exactly what I was picturing. You know, who's sitting there saying, you know, like this my vision is being realized, you know, the cutting, the editing. It's almost like somebody was like drunk, like doing this, which I wouldn't be, you know, like Santa definitely seemed drunk in Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny as he's sitting there. I chalked it up to dehydration, but he definitely had, or he was on drugs. I'm not sure. Have you ever seen that sweet recut of the ending of Ice Cream Bunny with the metal music? I have seen that. And you know what? It's fucking epic. And it needs to be posted on the Cult Film and Review everything, because it is it is one of a kind, really. That movie probably actually would have been a hell of a lot better if it had a metal soundtrack through the whole thing. Maybe that should be like somebody's like personal project. Anybody else have a favorite part? Anybody else have a favorite part from Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny? KDS, Mike, Mike downstairs. That's what they call him. Mike downstairs. Henry Swanson, man, what's up? Sad to say you haven't seen it. Well, you don't have to be sad. You can rent it on Amazon. At least the Jack and the Beanstalk version, which is the version that we covered. There is like a Thumbelina version, but I don't. Yeah, you probably would have to find it on YouTube. I didn't see it on there, so yeah, it's not something to rush out and see. Like you'll probably want to like. I mean, it's almost like mind numbing to a degree. You know, it's so terrible. It's like you do check out from time to time while watching it, but you get picked back up with some you get picked back up with some pretty hip, like horrifying and hypnotic imagery and these songs that like are of nightmares. Just listen to the show today. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty, I mean, at least is good for some laughs. And if you have a couple friends, I think watching it with friends might be a bit more of a better experience. Definitely, definitely on some kind of substance. Um, but yeah, it's not something that you absolutely have to rush out to see. Again, though, I would throw it in the top 20. I would throw it in the top 20. Honest John's Giant Meat coming soon. Is that his side business? Honest John's Giant Meat. He went from bunk ass beans to giant meat. What else did he sell? What was he selling at the end? Nothing. He just wanted to be friends with everybody and be part of the hug circle that was going on inside. What's up, Lindsay? How's it going? Welcome to the chat. We're talking about not giant sausage, but we're talking about a movie that we released last week called a movie episode that we released last week called Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, and I was putting it in the top 20 of so bad it's good films, and just discussing why, because it's just such low budget garbage that you have to be okay like torturing yourself a little bit when you watch these movies. It's kind of like why the same reason you watch like shock value films, like you're testing your might. I would say the same thing about like poorly made films. You're kind of like seeing how much you could possibly stand before you have to turn it off, or maybe there'll be that little glimmer of like something awesome at the end of it, but usually not. Like usually again, to use the term mind numbing. Hey kids, do we have I love it. So Patrick Swayze, the cooler's in the house, making sure nobody gets too wild on their giant sausage in the chat. So it's good. It's good to have a moderator. I don't know how I would control this crowd. But yeah, so Lindsay, what's the worst movie you've ever seen? Like the one that you just were like rolling your eyes the entire time and just couldn't believe that somebody actually made. um, Hackers was one for me for a while, but I think I've just found a new appreciation for Hackers thanks to this show. I don't like the movie. Fuck you, sweetheart. What? Tell me, Lindsay, what did you have to shut off? What was like so bad that you could not like when did you demand your money back? And please don't say sweetheart. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I walked out of. What? Pink Flamingos? Did you have to is it Pink Flamingos? All right. You guys should review Light Years, aka Gandahar. You don't review enough weird French animated films on the show. Have we reviewed any French animated films on the show? You're correct. We don't do enough. So we'll put it on the list. And definitely if you haven't already, go to cultfilmandreview.com and request a review. Add that to it. We have a nice large spreadsheet of requests, and we're going to try to get to them all eventually. Okay, Pink Flamingos is the absolute worst movie Lindsay has ever seen. I think that's like a badge of honor. It's like, and I was happy to. Did I show that movie? Hopefully I showed that to you, because if I did, that's great. I'm not familiar with Gandahar. I don't think. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't think I can't picture it. I can't picture the key art. I can't picture the key art. It's on YouTube, so a tough find. All right, we'll have to check it out. Gandahar. I like it. I like it. So Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Uh, I'm trying to find something that I like genuinely loved about it. Like, I love the badness of it, but I'm trying to think if there's actually anything well done in that film. I can't I can't think of, like, a technical quality or a costume or a set or an actor or camera work, editing, any of that. I can't think of anything about this movie that, like, makes it, like, redeemable, other than the fact that it's not makes it that much more enjoyable. It's confusing, but, like, you know how it goes. So I did tell you about it. Shut that shit off mid movie and gave it away. Oh, you gave it away. Who did you give that to? That's like a something you would probably maybe give to your enemy. Oh shit. So we're talking about. I thought I told. Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny is a film that we reviewed last week, and or we released the episode last week, and it's a really so bad it's good film, and it's just like it's just something that once you put on from the start, your eyebrows are like, what is going on here? So yeah, it's one of those. It's not like Pink Flamingos though. It's Pink Flamingos is obviously a lot more extreme and has like very crude humor. Whereas this is like a kids movie, but has like a line of awkwardness and just bad everything. That it almost feels like it was like bad to be a part of this movie, maybe like a bad experience. Who knows? Baking in the Florida sun, watching Santa Claus tell you some stories about why you should never give up and why you should. It's fucking crazy. Nobody eats a turd in this movie except for the viewer. That's the only that those are the ones who eat the turd. So if you go bleh. If you haven't already, go to visit cultfilminreview.com. If you want to link out to any of our other stuff, there's access to all of our social media on there. There's access to our t-shirts. And that's kind of the hub just for everything that we're doing right now. We've got our videos that go through there, and we're always updating every week. So go check that out. Definitely check out some of the other videos that we're doing on YouTube. Um, we've got the in the studio videos that are coming out. Cody's got some new ideas that he's putting out. We just dropped a pretty funny film bar promo video on there, so go check that out. We're doing Hard Ticket to Hawaii on July 5th. We're showing that here locally at Film Bar, and so we made a funny video to advertise that. And if anybody's local, come out and check out this movie. It is insane. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It's an action comedy film. I believe it was it made for the Playboy Channel? I'll have to confirm that. I don't know, but it definitely is like a sex action comedy kind of, and it involves a killer snake on the loose and explosions, and just it's fun from start to finish. So seeing it live, seeing it with an audience is seeing it with an audience, it always improves the experience, as we've discovered doing these live events. um it you feed off of everybody's laughter, you feed off of everybody's emotions in certain scenes. You can tell that people know certain parts of the film and want to quote along, and it's just like an experience watching it by yourself. Sometimes you don't absorb like the joy that a movie is. Maybe you could be too critical sometimes, just left to your own devices. But when you're seeing with the crowd, you're like more forgiving and more in it for the fun and not necessarily to be a critic of the movie. So yeah, I would say every experience that we've had showing a film at Film Bar for the past 2 years has almost every experience has made the film better, in my opinion. So sometimes it is just about that. Bands, you know, sometimes like you don't really care for a band when you listen to their record, but when you go and they're playing at a show or you see them at a festival, you're like, okay, like this isn't, wasn't my initial impression of what, or this wasn't my initial takeaway. So, same thing happens with movies, I think. Best goddamn shirts around. Go get that Meg Foster CFIR shirt. That's right. I got that one. That's one of my favorites. I hope we can do some new ones soon, though. We definitely have talked about it for a long time, and haven't had a chance to really put it together because we're just got to take one thing at a time. And right now we're doing live YouTube, so yep. Race wants to see it now. See what? This movie, Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, or wants to see Pink Flamingos? Either one, yes, of course, but I'm just curious which one. Oh, Pink Flamingo. Are you gonna? Well, he's gonna end up watching it by himself because it doesn't sound like you're gonna be a part of that. Yeah. Yep. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, I do. I don't know. There's some that I haven't even purchased myself that I really like. Like Kyle has the baseball tee. I love the baseball tee. The Frankenhooker shirt's really cool. I do enjoy the oh my god, the Christina Ricci one. I wish I would have centered it a little differently, but whatever. On to the next one. Sure shit ain't watching it again. What if somebody would pay you $1,000? Would you watch Pink Flamingos again, start to finish, while eating a 4-course meal? 1,000 bucks. Chicken cordon bleu, salad with ranch dressing, chocolate cake at the end. If you throw up, you don't get paid. That's the rule. So anyways, we're gonna wrap this up here pretty soon because we gotta record our next episode, which is going to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So definitely look out for that. Visit cultfilmandreview.com to get more updates. Like I said, where everything funnels through there. So if you want merch, if you want to check out some rating boxes, if you want to request a review for us to do, that would definitely be the place to do it. Like I said, YouTube, look out for any new content that we're doing on there. If you're local, come out to Hard Ticket to Hawaii on July 5th. You can get tickets at the Film Bar Phoenix. No, sorry, the filmbarphx.com. Jesus, I only do it every week. Yeah, and definitely, iTunes, leaving those reviews on iTunes really helps. I mean, that definitely pushes us, up the charts or up the ranks, if you will. So go over to iTunes and leave us a review and let us know what you think of the show. We always like to read them at the end of episodes, for good or bad. We just like that people are reaching out and giving their opinions, because that's what we're doing about these movies. It's just opinions, and we're not like, we don't know every detail about these movies, but we're going into it, experiencing it like for the first time, and trying to give that kind of impression on our show rather than dissecting something, like super analytically. You can't really squeeze that into an hour show. So we just like to kind of go more based on like, as if it was like maybe a first time impression in a lot of cases, or even like going back just to revisit something that we liked when we were younger, so that's what we aim to do on the show. It's not to be the smartest or any of that, or know all the facts. It's just to share, roundtable our impressions going back into these movies. So we do appreciate everybody who tunes in every week. We've had very, very loyal listeners for some since day one, and we do recognize that and appreciate that quite a bit. So thank you guys for for always tuning in every week and for reaching out and communicating with us and letting us know your likes and dislikes and helping us steer this ship. It's a passion for all of us, and we just like to dedicate our time to talking about something that we really care about and things that really influence us, which are movies. And so this is a good place to do it. And like I said, next week on Thursday, Mike's going to be talking about The Night Porter, so tune in for that. It's a heavy movie and there's a lot to unpack, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions for Mike. And yeah, and then thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.